O să schimb în engleză, deoarece este filmat și o să-l punem pe canalul oficial Startup Grind pe YouTube. Oricând o să vreți să mai revedeți interviu, o să puteți să mergeți acolo ca și referințe, as a go-to point. So, welcome. Just a couple of words about Startup Grind first. Startup Grind is a global community of founders and entrepreneurs, which basically have certain type of values, which you can see here on the wall. So make contacts, give first, and help each other. You can always go to startupgrind.com to see what exactly, in the bigger picture, what exactly it means. You can become a contributor, or even if you have friends in different cities, other countries, you can become chapter directors, as I am for Cluj-Napoca. I would like to introduce our guest for today. So he's the founder and CEO of Fortech, one of the largest IT outsourcing companies from Cluj-Napoca. Prior to founding Fortech in 2003, he worked in the field of software development in Greece and Japan and acted as a CTO in an outsourcing company. He also activated as a teaching assistant at the Technical University of Cluj-Napoca, teaching Java and Oracle technologies. Later on, he got an executive MBA from the Executive Academy of Vienna University of Economics and Business. So please give a round of applause for Călin Văduva. Thank you for my invitation. We usually kick it off across the entire globe, the Startup Grind meetings, with a question, and that would be like, tell us where did everything started. There is something from your childhood, what were your hobbies, activities, and how did that get you to the point where you are now, for example?
First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really happy that I can share some thoughts from my side with young people, with people that are thinking about entrepreneurship. So thank you also for participating this evening. I'm really happy that we have so many people that would join and are interested in these discussions. Starting with your question, I would say I would like to remember some nice words one of my professors told us in the past. It was the physics teacher, and he said it's very good in life to be prepared all the time to take the training you like. So you should be prepared to jump from one train to the other and to change the trains and go as fast as possible. So I don't think that it was something like I have from my childhood, something like an objective, okay, let's start a company, or being a kind of entrepreneur or having a company in outsourcing. I don't think that it was my thoughts at the beginning initially. What I know from the very beginning was that working hard and doing the right things all the time, it was a good chance and a good options for me to be ready all the time to get the right training. So I think in my life and in any lives there are many trains that you should be ready to take, but you should be in the same time ready to jump from one into the other. So shortly, I don't think that I was dreaming one time to start a new company in outsourcing. I can remember some dreams when I started the second company in 2003. Our dream was to have a company about 25 people, as the other one that we just closed. And now we are about 600 people, so things goes better than expected.
Yeah. Okay. Please tell us about how was time in high school? Like, what were the activities that led you to finding out and taking those steps? Like I've read about that you've studied communications and then you went to the next step. So please tell us, how did that process took you to making a decision, or somehow how life led you into business?
Software,
business. Exactly. In business and entrepreneurship, exactly.
Okay. Let's say first of all, maybe let's start a little bit with childhood. In the childhood, I was studying at a school in one of the in Cluj. I don't know who knows Mănăștur. So it's an area with, okay. So I think always it was something like fighting everywhere. So I remember now things changes. So at that time it was a communist time, and I think Mănăștur was a kind of area where it was more, let's say, working class. But we had a good school, and I think it was challenging all the time to find people, to find different characters in that area, and to be obliged to fight all the time, a little bit. Okay, that was in the childhood. Afterward, in the high school, I know that I remember that I liked the areas of real study, so mathematics, physics, and so on. So I really enjoyed it. I had very good teachers in that time. I like physics a lot. So I was in Olympics competitions in physics, and also I enjoy maths. And in that period of time, nobody has a dream about entrepreneurship because it was communist time. I think everybody was looking for having a job in either to be engineer somewhere in a nice village outside of Cluj, I don't know, somewhere, or teacher, professor somewhere in I don't know, far away from Cluj, or being a doctor. So there were not too many options. So there were several options, very straight paths. Study hard, get the exams on the university. So you have several options in university. Polytechnical or medical, or I think these were the two important ones. So medical study or so I go on telecommunications. That was before revolution. I've been in the army, and after that I joined the university, which was a really nice experience for 5 years. A lot of parties, a lot of studying at the same time, a lot of options, interesting times.
Yeah. So that would be physics were your main drive and passion, which led you somehow into technical.
I like mathematics and physics, and it was maybe one of my dreams to be a researcher.
Okay.
So it was something like in my dream. I knew the direction. I knew that I like to do something regarding mathematics, regarding physics, and maybe to do some research. I was dreaming to be in academia.
How come didn't you end up being a researcher?
Okay,
how did this
I
dream
started academia, so my dream was to go in academia. I was working in university. I was teaching assistant. Actually, I was starting with the 4th year of university. I was also teaching the 3rd year of school. I was lucky that I get a position in university to teach also, being at the same time a student.
Yeah.
And I tried to go in this path, going in research, going in academy. I enjoy a lot having classes with the students. I really like it. It was a really nice time, but I had a big problem. Living from the money with the money from university was not good. So I cannot feed my son at the time with the money from university. I cannot feed my family. So I have to take other option. So it's just a simple question of let's say having the minimum life needs.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I chose to go more in computer science because I study in. So I had this option for academy. I had a program in Greece for 1 year of time. I started for 6 months like a teacher visiting scientist. In that period I started working in software, much more intense than before. So I started with Java because it was just the very first launch in 1995. So I studied that part. I was working for 6 months. I extended my period of time for other 6 months. So in 1 year I get a lot of experience in that period in Java.
Did somehow the researching experience was beneficial for the Greece experience which you had, or?
I think the visiting scientist in Greece was more research and working in the programming area. So it was development software for researching.
Okay.
For telecommunication.
Okay.
So it was really beneficial. A good time for learning, a good time for getting experience for me, and that was really interesting.
Okay, so you were in Greece for 1 year?
I was for 1 year between 96 to 97.
And then you went to Japan, if I
No, I come back, and I had many options getting a job in Greece in that time as a Java programmer. But it's okay, I want to come back in Cluj because my family was here. I still had a position in university, and coming to Cluj, I thought, okay, I will have so many options as in Greece, but unfortunately I didn't have too many options. So the only one option was the time to work in academy and to write a book. And I was working hard to write a book in Java programming. I think it was one of the first books in Cluj in Java development.
Was that the only one book which you wrote, or?
I have written a little bit more books,
Okay.
but more in telecommunications area. But Java I was the only one author in that time.
Okay.
So I was working hard, I think, for 4 months, just reading the book and the study. I remember that I was working for 10 hours per day, just reading 4 pages. And this was a nice experience. That helped me to set up the really good foundation for me in the Java developer. And I got also the first check from the book. It was about $100 or something like $150, which
Okay.
was really great in that time.
That was good money then back then.
Yeah, I got the money, and then that was 97, 98. There were not many options for a software developer in that time. So my colleagues, my friends, most of them either went away in the US or Canada, or either get a job in other area, like managing, sales, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And 98, I think it was a kind of change a little bit. The first companies appear, I think. I remember then it was, I was working for Blue Age at that time. Now it's Tora. So it was one of the team that we start Tora. iQuest starting that time, Arab starting that time, Artnet starting that time. So small companies in working for outsourcing market or for outside, for Europe or for USA.
Okay.
So that was the first start.
That was already coming back from Japan.
From Greece. Then I joined a company, Blue Age. Blue Age was a company, a Japanese company. They start like a team. We start like a team of 3-4 people, like an options. Let's start a project. Let's try out what happens, what these guys can do here in Romania. Because they really don't believe that we could do something in software. I mean,
The Japanese guys?
The Japanese company. We were lucky that they had some people from Romania working there already for 2 years. But nobody heard about Romania. Nobody knows, okay, what happens in Romania, what you can do in Romania, what's the software, what's that country. So they say, okay, let's invest, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000 in the time. We set up a team of 4 people, which was peanuts for them, and it was a good option. And we started a team of 4 people. We work hard. I remember 12 hours per day, 13 hours per day. They give us the task when they left the job in Tokyo, and they get the job done the next day in the morning. So it was a really nice surprise for them.
So
really
a
good
24-hour
surprise.
cycle, job done, yeah.
It was nice. Good people. So really great people. 2 of them are working for Microsoft now in US. One has a company, it's myself, and the other it's working also in a big company.
Okay.
Like a CTO.
Okay. That's really interesting. So basically, the entire.
So that's the first time start working for as a developers in an outsourcing business, and then I moved a little bit in Tokyo for a period of time.
Okay. So this was basically the experience which you gathered to have the sufficient data gathered to make a decision. Okay, I'm going to go on my own and.
No, it was not. I was not ready to go my.
Okay.
So I was working in Tokyo in that time, and I started to get a lot of experience. Literally not. I got a lot of experience from Greece working international, but I even get more experience working in Tokyo because I used to work with really experienced people with 10-15 years. Working experience in IT, working a high level standard. We used to do a kind of application for hedge funding.
Yeah.
So everything was trading on the limit. They managed a lot of. They were very young people, very smart, willing to risk a lot. I think everything went well for 5 years. They earn about 80 million per year, but they lost in 1 year everything. So that was the concept. So they looked for a kind of professional and a kind of results. So it was really good experience for me to in the area of software development, not only coding but also get the big picture.
The business side of something.
Not really the big business, not really the business, but software is not only the coding. You need to understand the how you structure the code, the CBS, I don't know, the tools and so on. Now everybody, if you go in a company, everybody says, okay, yes, that's normal, it's easy. You cannot imagine a software company without having a version control system or having something like deployment systems or whatever. But in that period of time, we have not been experienced something like that. And if you don't experience something like that, you can imagine working like in a university with small people, a small team where the people share the code by themselves and so on and so on. Now it's a lot of experience on the market here about in the software. Then it was not. So I had a lot of experience getting in that, working in this environment. And we had options then. So some company I started collaboration before. I helped them to do some small software for showing the capabilities to their partners. They give me an option to say, okay, you can come in Cluj and you can get a part of the share in one company as a CTO. So I had two options: signing a contract in Tokyo, which was really nice looking, or returning back in Romania, being with the family, and also getting a part in entrepreneurship.
Wasn't your family, wasn't they ready, or did they want to move, for example, in Greece or in Japan? Did they want, or was it a decision made only by you or something?
I mean, you have to take a decision together with your family. I don't think it's maybe we can go, but also in Greece or Tokyo, for sure, could have been an option. But it looks interesting. Setting up a new company, getting a share of a small company, even if it's nothing, it's zero. But it's having a share of zero, it's interesting. And
was that feeling that, okay, I'm going to build something for myself, something from scratch?
No, it was more the feeling we didn't expect that we'll build something like that will make such a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we saw it like a nice experience and like nice, how to say, building something.
Yeah.
It's like when you are playing as a child with some toys, you like to build something and to see that it's built by you. And that happened with the first company. The first company that was very interesting and very nice, UpToNet in the time. I was CTO and one of the shareholders. A company that was very successful up to 2003 when we get bankrupt. So that was the experience with that company.
Okay.
So it was a nice experience, but we made a major mistake. We had only one nice customer, but it was one, and they get bankrupt. It was enough for us.
They got bankrupt. They got bankrupt.
They got bankrupt, and we got bankrupt.
Yeah. Okay.
After 6 months, so that was experience.
So there were no people doing like business development and sales to get more clients, or like they didn't.
No.
Okay.
So there were some mistakes we did. There were mistakes we did at that time.
Yep.
We focused on this nice customer. We had a focus on the product. We had a focus on the technology. We focused to grow up the team. We focused to get the process done inside nice. And we built a nice company. We built a nice team around. But we didn't build a business, which was a mistake.
Yeah.
And then that happens so we closed the company in December 2003. And or November 2003, and at the same time we start Fortech until December 2003.
Okay, so
we split the company in two
quick.
directions. So I had a team going together with me, and other team goes in another direction. Okay. And I may say that both companies are pretty successful now.
Okay, so both parts continue doing.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So wasn't there a possibility, for example, that to continue the path as
together
that company?
Could have been an option. We decided because okay, we had something also. Let's put it that way. We were not aligned in the view.
That's clear.
So
sometimes happens exactly.
Sometimes
How was the first months maybe or years of Fortech? How was the first, I mean the steps in doing the right thing and not doing the mistake which was done at the previous company, Arnet?
I mean, all the time you do mistakes.
Yeah, of course.
You will not make mistakes.
But
I think the first year was very, very interesting and so on. We had one customer also starting, but okay, we had one options. It was just one card to play, so not too many. You couldn't afford too many mistakes. So I remember that we started in December. So we spent the Christmas in the job in the first office. We spent the New Year in the new office, and we delivered on the 15th of January, and we have a really successful delivery. Everybody started learning the new programming language in the beginning of December, and in 15th January they have been already expert. I was writing code at the time in .NET. I never write code in that .NET, but we delivered, and it was the first client.
Okay.
Not the greatest client, not the best option. The margin was pretty small, maybe only covering the cash flow or let's say the working capital, not the investment at all. And step by step we get new customers in the time. We fight for new customers. I think that was a really good experience for me, because if we had an option to get a new customer, I could have been in the flight the next days and meeting the customer and trying to convince him that we are the right team, we can do the right job, and they can be sure that they will get the right product delivered from us. So I think it was a lot of focus on initial sales.
Okay. Were the other companies which you said previously, like Arobs, iQuest, were they somehow competitors?
They were pretty big on that time. I think there would be 30, 40 people we started with 5.
Okay, so they were bigger already.
They started in 98. All company have been Artnet, Artnet was really successful at the time. I think we've been in 30 people with really good revenue, but with one customer that failed. The others were successful and of course competitors.
Okay, so basically you were like fighting somehow on the same market, because I know that Fortech is not working on the Romanian markets.
We were fighting the same market, but I don't think it's far away to say, because normally the customers we got, the peer comes to us through different contacts. So the customer they come to Fortech, maybe they didn't go to our ops.
Yeah.
iQuest already was another market, and
yeah. Okay.
So that was, I think, an interesting step in 2003, fighting to get new customers, actually to pay the bills. And we've been very successful for the first year. So that was 2004. And I think at the end of 2004 we have already about 7 or 8 customers, which was really good. So I remember a huge project we had in that time, saying, okay, I was really afraid to make the offer, because it was written something like, I don't know, 80,000 euros for 1 year and a half. I don't know, a lot of time anyway. But for us it was a very big number.
Yeah.
And now I think we do it for, I don't know, maybe 1 invoice per month. It's something like that.
Okay, I see. So somehow, fast forward, what would be the most difficult period from Fortech until now, coming back?
I think there were several periods of time that were difficult.
And how did you got over them?
So, okay, first for me, one difficult period was closing the whole company. That was really hurting. Firing people, lay off people, a team of 25 people that you eat together for 3 years, you stay together, you suffer together, was one of my most difficult experience. That was with the old company. So I said, okay, never we should do in this to come in the same situation again. So I was all the time trying to get to cover the risk as much as possible. But we had in 2005, also a difficult period of time. We had one customer that just get bankrupt.
Okay.
Again, but this time we had only one customer which get bankrupt, and we have additional 6 customers. So we succeed, but he didn't pay us a high bill for us. So we were in the point that at least for 2-3 months we have to sustain the company by ourselves. That was experience 2005.
Okay.
2005, so it was something like gap. We had a difficult experience in 2008. In that time, we've been 80 people.
With the stock market dropping, I guess.
The market dropped fast, and we had one project that was moving China. Other company get bankrupt, and other company didn't pay us the bills. So we have a situation that from 80 people, from 1 month to the other, we had a coverage about 40 people only. So 40 people were not covered all by work. I remember I was the first call which I got, the first customer that stopped the project. I was in New York in the time, and I saw the market going down, and I got the call. Okay, we stopped the project. Nice. That happens in September, I think September, October. I remember also the party for Christmas party. We had a good year, good buffer, good let's say the founding was good and the financial is good. So we can keep the team for a period of time. But still in December I was not sure how it's going to happen in next year, in 2009. And I'd say fortunately I was, in March we've been also completely booked, let's say in this way. So the whole team was completely covered by work, because we fight also to get new customers. I was in September we get this bad news. In October I was in USA for 2 weeks. November I was in Spain for several weeks. I was in Germany. So in March we had also.
So basically you were doing sales as well?
In that time, yes.
Okay.
Also now I'm doing sales, but I get also support.
Do you think that doing sales is much more, at this level, it's much more appropriate to go do it like person to person? Or has it changed in comparison with today? Because you have all these tools that you can do sales now online.
I mean, sales online it's working partially, but it's not enough. I think in the time you couldn't, the only one option is to do sales face to face, at least from my side. Now we have a big company, people are looking for us, they are looking on researching the market, and we get many requests like inbound.
Yeah.
But in that time I have only one option, outbound.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had to figure out how to get new people. Going to the fairs. So I was in all fairs that had been organized by the Romanian software associations, RES, ANIS, and so on. So I've been in Germany. So each month I've been at least 1 or 2 times outside of Romania.
Okay.
So Germany, I don't know, Dubai, try Dubai, Israel, USA, everywhere.
Okay. Since we're talking about outsourcing and so on, what do you think about the local outsourcing trend? Because we've been hearing a lot that it's gonna drop a little bit in the next 5 to 10 years. That's somehow the bubble that is going on around. What do you think about it? Is it going away?
Okay, one question. If outsourcing is going away, what's happening in Cluj industry in this case? I don't know what's going to happen. There are not so many companies that are staying. If it would not be outsourcing in Cluj in this moment, maybe the salaries would be as I had in 96, 98, 7, $2,200, $300 per month, which I think it's not the case.
Yeah.
But answering to your question, in other way, I say I heard about that since starting in 2001. So the first time when I always started a company, like hey, in 2001, okay, I think outsourcing will stay additional 1 to 3 years. Okay, that was 2001. In 2003, okay, we started a new company, it was successful. In 2005, everyone's okay, maybe it lasts additional 2 or 3 years. Okay, now it's I think
happening again. It's
everybody's talking about outsourcing. I think it's a good market and good option for Romania. I don't want to say that's the best or the only one, but it's a really good option. And thinking about the market, how the market is going and the needs for software development, it's clear that could be a good option for the future. And it's a good business to be on the long term, because now everybody's programming mobiles. In the past, everybody was programming computers. In 2 years, 3 years, everybody is going to program, I don't know, the refrigerators, the radios, the cars, the bikes, and so on.
Yeah.
So it's a need for software engineers for the long run. it's a need for software engineer for long run. The difference comparing with telco or telecommunications or let's say car manufacturing or car engineering is that software engineer can be learned with easy with computer. If you do want to do something like construction engineering or something like car construction, you need to have the fabric or let's say the industry present there. Yeah. But for software, you can do it here. So engineering, it's clear a need for. It's a big gap in outside of Romania, in US and Germany, and for engineers. So as long as you do the right things and we get aligned with what's happening in the market, I think outsourcing will stay for a long time. Okay. It's not about the cost, I think, because the cost definitely increase, but I think it's about the mindset. If people will keep still the mindset the way that they will deliver quality, they will understand the client, and they will match the expectation from the customers, I think outsourcing is going to be for long run. But that's only a basic side. I think it's like, let's say, about China. China it's a production country. Yeah, it started as a production country. Exactly. It started as a production country in, I don't know, in 70 or 80. But now it's not anymore production. They start innovating. They start having their own products. They start selling products. We talk about telco companies like Huawei or which really innovate a lot of products, and I think that's the next step in Romania to start with products. It's not an easy one, but could be done. I know that it's an evolution, but I don't see that outsourcing will disappear, and I don't think it's would make sense to disappear. Okay, that's fair and good to hear a positive side of this, since everybody was talking that outsourcing will go away, I mean, this was something which I heard during the conferences and so on. That's why. Maybe it will reset a little bit. It depends if the overall industry is going down and the economy is decreasing, so the impact will be higher this time in Romania. Yeah. I'm sure that in 2003, 2008 we get something like 10% off. Maybe this time it's going to be more. Okay. But with long term, outsourcing is a good option for the future. I know that Fortech also started to look into the product side as well. Yes. So how is that going? Are you like? I know you founded also and started Seed for Tech. Yes. How is the product part going from the point of view? Are there any good quality ideas on the local market, in the local startup ecosystem coming to you, and how is that going? We are in the product market in different directions. One is Seed for Tech, yeah, and we start with initiatives like local initiatives to offer financing and software development for local startups. But we realized that there are not too many startups that are ready to move global. Okay. There are very few. And Romanian market is very difficult from two perspectives. The market selling in Romania is not so easy because the customers are demanding, they are not well educated, so it's not a good market for the software. That's my opinion. I mean, yeah. I know that. So it's difficult to sell software in Romania. And as to the people that really start thinking about the startups, they don't have too much experience in real world. It's not enough just to have a smart idea, but it's really important also to have a good execution and to understand the big what means developing a product. And okay. Very few people understand that. Okay. That's my opinion. And what we are doing now successful, and I think it's really interesting, we start a partnership with a company from outside of Romania. Right now we have two partners, one company in USA where we develop product in education and we have a share, and also product in the medical. But they are business partners, they have really good knowledge of the market, they have really good knowledge about the product, and we hope to be very successful with the product. But again, the Romanian market, it's interesting, and I think maybe it's not ready to start with something like really nice international global products, but it's a start, and we have to believe in it, because again, in '98 nobody was thinking that the company in Romania could do software, not create a product, but write software. Now I think everyone knows about Romania.
So it's about to change
it's
the
a change,
bias.
and it's a change and getting experience, because each piece that's come in this environment will make something bigger.
Yeah.
And it's a good part that we have experience in the software development.
Yeah.
If you get the right people in the business and we have the right market, it's great.
What do you think the people which are having these ideas and launching themselves into the startups, what do you think they should do to pick up the experience, or
they should go outside of Romania.
Exactly. Should they go outside and experience startups, or?
Yes, I think that would be one. If the product is global, they should go outside a little bit.
Okay.
Try US, try Germany, Berlin, Italy, good hub for startups. US, it's a good hub for startups.
Yeah, or maybe even London, because they have
London is a good
very good VC money.
So I would recommend that. I would definitely think that's the best option.
Okay.
Maybe have the team here for the development, but being and not only to get networking, but also getting the language, getting the understanding of the business more, and getting the market.
And I think the startup mindset, which basically you have to somehow live it, because it's not something that you just come up with an idea. Because we read a lot of stuff, a lot of outlets and blog posts that it's easy to build an idea and so on and so on and so on. But I think you really have to have that startup mindset and be ready for what's coming after.
Idea is definitely not enough.
Yes.
Many people say, okay, we have an idea, we have a product. It's bullshit. Sorry to say, but there are so many ideas, great ideas, and so on. Say, okay, and so many people are protecting the idea and say, okay, I have an idea, I don't share with nobody. I think a lot of the successful product comes from execution, and the way that you execute not only the software, the development, but also the marketing, the sales, and the network, the whole environment. And you have to have a little bit luck.
Yeah.
A little bit.
The timing would be something that, well, somehow the timing and the luck, because so I've read also that some startups which have been already invented back with 5 to 10 years didn't pick up because it wasn't the timing, and the mindset of the people, the maturity of the people weren't ready for like new technology adoption for certain ideas. So that would be the reason. What do you think the government is doing in Romania for the startup ecosystem and infrastructure? Do you think they're doing good stuff, or what they should do for
honestly, I think the government is doing the best thing would be just leave the people around and say this. Okay, in IT they do a good. They had launched this idea with deduction, or how it's called. You don't pay the taxes for IT, which is a big advantage. And also, I would say that they did this supporting of network, building the network, kind of covering the part of the expenses of traveling around the world and so on, in IT. In startups, I don't think they are doing too much, unfortunately. Because I think it's a big need for software development in Romania. I think there are so many needs for government projects.
Yeah.
And if they could open this door for startups, for ideas, would have been really great. And not selling software, not buying services for big companies outside of Romania. So, just to give an example, I remember that I was in a situation one time that we did software for a company outside of Romania that charged the Romanian government, and so we did the software in Romania as outsourcing, but the big money was in UK or another country, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a good options to launch ideas for an IT infrastructure, and have Romanian companies ready to open to develop the software for them. I think that would be a good idea, but it doesn't happen in this moment.
Okay.
So honestly, I don't think they are doing too much.
Going on the other side of private companies, do you think that we know that there's a problem of VC money not coming enough or at all to Romania or to Cluj to be more local? Do you think that a fund which would be gathered, done by, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 companies would be something that would be beneficial for the local startup ecosystem? Do you think it would work?
I think there are a lot of money in the Romanian IT industry in this moment. We are in a really good position as Fortech in this moment, for example, and we have a limited options to invest in software.
Okay.
I think the same problem you would having no money or saying okay, there are not money on the market. That's why it's not such a big evolution of startups is not right. I think what's missing now it's entrepreneurships, business people that can start this kind of companies, because money I know at least 4 or 5 people that are willing to invest large amount of money in good startups.
Yeah.
So I don't think the problem is now the money.
Okay.
Because if you have a good market, if you're good, okay, nobody is going to give you money saying, okay, I just believe in you. You have to come with a good business plan. You have to show that you suffer and you are committed. Because many times I heard this situation, okay, you pay me as a normal company, I get 50% of the business, and if it's go away, okay, otherwise, that's it. So nobody's willing to be committed to the business. I mean, they are not ready to suffer. Say, okay, I have a nice job now, I'm getting 2,000 euros per month as IT developers.
Exactly.
I need the same amount of money, but I need 50% of the company, and okay. I need to take my decision whenever I want, and so on and so on. So if you really want to be an entrepreneur, I think you have to be ready to show a kind of commitment.
Yeah.
And be ready to get to suffer a little bit.
Okay.
And to getting your risk.
Do you agree I have an idea, and do you agree that until I develop that idea and I observe or get some type of traction or sales or growth in terms of users, do you think that the person itself should keep the job until a certain point, and then until they get somehow secure from the financial point of view? Do you think they should do this, or? I
mean, it's a personal decision, but I don't see it very efficient and very effective. Because if you really want to do something great, you have to get committed, and you take a risk and say, okay, now I get 1 year off and I do the work.
Yeah.
Just being in two sides doesn't work. I mean, I made the same mistakes many times, because you think, okay, minimizing the risk, you can do these things, and okay, it will work, but it doesn't work. That's my feeling.
Okay.
So if you want to really think that it's a good option and a good idea, you should stop. Okay. Doesn't mean that you need a little bit money. So
exactly.
Put a part,
you have to save yeah.
and get the risk for a period of time.
Okay.
But again, there are options for money in Cluj. There are a lot of companies that have money for investment in IT. The big problem is finding the right entrepreneur and the right business that you can be ready to develop. Because many are thinking about the business like a nice job. Okay, I get a company, I make a company that I will get a return of paying a salary for the next years. But if I'm looking in a business, I say, okay, what's the investment? What's the business? It's show me that you will make a business that will have a revenue about 300,000 euros per year next 4 or 5 years. Doesn't look interesting. And if you look at options for having a share of 10% in a USA company that is going to take to sell 200 millions per year, and getting 80% in a company that is selling 300,000 euros per year, I think it's really easy to decide which is the best option.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's not the money. The money I think there are a lot of money in the market in this moment.
Do you think that would help the people with ideas and the committed, which are already like they would commit to the idea? Do you think that it will help them to see the people with the money, so that the people with the money get visible? Okay, X company, or I don't know, somebody with a name, for example, will say, okay, I'm ready to invest 200,000 euros in a very good idea. Do you think that would like pick up the people from the local ecosystem? Because for the moment, me personally, and from the discussions which I had with local funders and so on, not a lot of people and founders know about the people, for example, which are ready to invest. I think
it's the other way around. Not about the people which are willing to invest. They don't know too much about the companies that are looking for financing, and they have good business plan, and definitely it's helping. But all this environment, or all this entrepreneurial environment which is built now in Cluj through Cluj Hub, I don't know, to different accelerators, to this seed Fortech we start, it's making this connection more and more.
Okay.
But I'm as an investor, so let's say owner of a software company, and as an investor, I'm still missing the businesses that I can see viable and for a long time.
Okay.
And I know several of them that already they get successful investment there, and it seems that it goes fine.
Yeah, because I have acquaintances which are looking for UK money, and they haven't found here, so that's why
they found in UK. Do they found it?
They are searching for money in UK, so yes.
Maybe the problem is other one, not only that they are not finding money.
You recently had your 10 years anniversary with Fortech, so
last year.
Yeah. Okay. It's somehow recent in comparison with the 10 years anniversary. Where do you see Fortech in 10 years?
I think we have a lot of different objectives in Fortech. We structure first time when we write down these objectives was in 2014, and I think the outsourcing business direction is still growing, and we plan to grow up. Let's see. We plan to be at the end of 2015 450. We reach about 600 people, so we are a little bit in the front of the plans. So outsourcing is planning to grow up, but not only Romania. We plan to grow up outside of Cluj. So now we have 2 offices outside of Cluj. One is in Oradea and one is in Iași. We would like to extend this network of delivery centers in the future. We would like also to focus in setting up the sales office outside of Romania, that's USA or Germany. And we also plan to specialize a little bit more on the business. So it's not enough now only to do software outsourcing area of programming, but you need to start also know more about the business, automotive, healthcare, and so on.
Yeah.
Because I believe that outsourcing could be a really good founding option for the future. In the same time, we start investing in the products. Now more concrete with partnership outside of Romania. As I mentioned, we have two investments right now, or 2 shares in two products, and we will go on with this option.
Okay.
So product is very interesting for us, and it's could be a really good option for the future, and we believe in it. And I think in the product industry you can grow up much faster than outsourcing. Outsourcing is a linear, but it's good, and if you know the job, why not do it?
Yeah.
But product could be much more interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
So product is a really good option, and one option for us in the future.
Exactly.
Now we set up the first infrastructure inside seed Fortech, inside Fortech. we get the right skills for the product management, we get the right skills for controlling the product, for management, because managing the product and investment, it's not so easy.
Exactly.
Controlling an investment, it's not so easy. Get the first knowledge about the instruments for investment, like, I don't know, shares outside of Romania, convertible notes, and so on and so on. And we are trying to build the knowledge and foundation for this investment.
Okay, okay. I've come to my last question, which I'm going to start. I have recently been to the Startup Grind Global Conference in San Francisco, and one of the main reasons was to get the feeling of the cultural side and to know the entire community and so on. And what I've noticed and also read about it in certain blog posts and so on is that American people, they tend to be very new technology. They adopt the new technology very easily. Mm-hmm. What do you think Romania and also Europe would need to do in order to increase this rate of new technology adoption? Because the reason is that I think that certain types of products would also grow faster. What do you think it should do, or should we just leave time to pass to change the generations?
I don't believe that. I don't think that Romanian people don't adopting the technology fast. I think they are adopting the technology fast. Even more, I had a nice discussion with someone that it's working for China, with Chinese market, yeah. And they told me that in China the people are really connected with the technology. So you would expect that in China they adopt the technology later, but they are up front in the front of Silicon Valleys and maybe USA. So maybe even people from Silicon Valley are looking for what products are developing now in China. Okay. And think about this idea. I don't think again that we have a problem with technology adoption in Romania. We have a problem with the market. We have a problem with the market that nobody understands that until you get on the figures. So my first revelation about what means Romanian and what means US market and Chinese market is when we had a case study in an MBA. I had an MBA to the Vienna University, and we had two options to say, okay, as a managers, what's the options you would invest to build a kind of sales point for selling toothpaste, doesn't matter what was the. But we have some calculation, and it was not Romania, it was another small country, and we just realized that what's happening in Romania is so small, and what's happening in I don't know, in Brazil or Argentina, which is a huge market, it's much bigger. So Romania, it's a small country, the market is small. You would not expect building a successful product in Romania that will get global if you don't go outside of Romania.
Yeah.
So it's not about technical adoption, it's the money that you have, it's the market you have in Romania.
Okay.
So I don't think it's a problem with technical adoption in Romania. The people are smart, the young people, everybody is staying connected, everybody is using the right tools and the nice tools. And I'm looking to my son, he's all the time connected with his friends, with, I don't know, Snapchat, whatever. New, they know about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't think this technology adoption it's a problem, but I think the market is a problem.
Okay.
So that's my so
that seems fair.
If you want to do something, you don't. In the IT, don't think about the reason is that the people in Romania do not adopt software, but the market is small and the people in Romania are not willing to pay so much for the software. That's another problem.
Great.
Okay. That's my opinion.
Călin, thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
Please give him a round of applause. Please stick around. You can network. Okay. Please connect. Don't forget about the values. Please connect. You can also reach out to me if you need connections to certain type of chapters. If you're a founder or you know founders, we are eager to help. So enjoy your evening and thank you for coming.
Okay. Thank you very much. If I can answer your questions,